like to talk to you today about a wonderful children's book, Singing Hands by Delia Ray. Singing Hands was published by Clarion Books, a Houghton Mifflin company. With a good eye for historical events, Delia Ray captures the rhythm of a young girl's life in 1940s Birmingham, Alabama. Gussie Davis is the second of three girls who are PKs, preacher's kids. Gussie's parents are deaf, and her father, the Reverend Davis, is the minister to deaf congregations in Birmingham, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, and other places around the South. Gussie is a slightly rebellious adolescent. For example, she hums melodies in church while her father preaches. Sometimes she pretends to be deaf when she's sitting at the drugstore luncheon counter. Then she starts to speak and watches the reactions of the people around her. Like many teenagers, Gussie feels out of place at home. Her older sister Margaret, she thinks, is the favorite of the family. Margaret is very respectful. Margaret has the larger bedroom, which she always keeps clean and neat. And Margaret always returns her library books on time. One Sunday at church, a hearing visitor discovers Gussie's antics during the service and alerts her father. Instead of being angry, her father thinks that Gussie wants to be around other hearing individuals, so he sends her to church at the Church of the Advent in downtown Birmingham. Gussie goes once, but she's mortified to think that someone may find out about her parents. So she begins to skip church. She takes her offering money and spends it at the Tutwiler drugstore instead of putting it in the offering plate. Later on, Reverend Davis takes Gussie to Talladega, to the Institute for the Deaf and Blind. At the Institute, Gussie learns how to relate to lots of different people and to really come to terms with her situation at home. The author's idea for this book, and for many scenes in the book, come from her mother's life, when her mother was a little girl living in Birmingham, and her mother's parents were deaf, and her mother's father was a minister. These real-life experiences made the book really interesting to me. For example, from Delia's description, I could see that the family must have lived in the Highland area on the south side of Birmingham. From Reverend Davis's window, he could look out and see the statue of Vulcan, which Delia Ray describes. At one point, Gussie tells the family that she's got to go to the public library downtown to get books for her summer reading list. And in the book, Delia describes the large Pegasus on the Ezra Winter mural in the old main reading room. She also describes other scenes around Birmingham. For example, in the 1940s, the streetcar was still a major form of transportation for folks. And Gussie and her sisters would take the streetcar, and the author actually says that the streetcar rocked around the circle at 5 Points, picked up speed on 20th Street, and rattled past Hillman Hospital. You just know where that is because you drive by it every day or you've been by it. The author includes another character, a librarian named Grace Homewood, and she works at the main library downtown. Grace is a World War II widow, and she happens to be a boarder at the Davis family. Though Delia Ray centers this book for children in grades 5 through 8, it would be great also to be read by adults. This is a wonderful book, and we certainly hope that all of you will take a chance to read it.